And on another note, we had news of the CFO of the Trump organization being indicted on offenses related to tax evasion and tax crime. It is hard to see yet what the implication will be on Trump. Obviously, everybody around him has been by now implicated in criminal offenses, and yet he has not yet been. Now, the question is whether this is going to have any effect whatsoever in 2024. He's already stated that this is his regular witch hunt claims, and how it's unfair to him and everything. And some say that he's relieved that so far the attack has been on his CFO. Basically, the CFO, the part of the accusations is that he's like falsified. He was being paid extra through the Trump administration by claiming that his apartment, that his high rent apartment was actually resided by the Trump organization, not by his family, and such things. And he's just basically been paid in various ways, like off the books, evading tax, and that's now he's in hot water. So Weisselberg's in hot water, and the question is whether they can ratchet up the pressure on him in order to give up information about Trump. As you remember, they tried to do that with other people around Trump, but at that point, Trump was still president. Although Michael Cohen did cooperate, and that still didn't help convict or indict Trump. So the question is it? What do you think, Keith? Is it going to have any real result on Trump, or is it just going to be one of those failed attempts that don't move the needle at all?
Well, I'll say it won't move the needle much. There's going to be a lot of talk through the months, the years about Trump, but really, are people really going to go after him? I don't think so. He's too much part of the system. To go after him means exposing other people. It means looking at our stuff, and nobody wants to do that. So people will scream about Trump. They'll call him a bad person, but I really don't think they'll do anything. That's my opinion. You wanted an opinion, you got one.
Yeah, what's disturbing is that so far Democrats have not yet really put the pedal to the metal in terms of going after Trump and his surroundings and the Republican Party in terms of the insurrection that was attempted on January 6th and the lies that they've been sticking to, and increasingly so, in terms of the election fraud argument. And we know that now 70% of Republicans at this point already believe that this election has been fraudulent or stolen, in spite of the fact that none of this has been had gotten any traction on the ground in terms of evidence. And I think that that's a big mistake, to leave everything to the criminal aspects of like tax evasion or whatever, even though that's how they got mafia people in the history of criminality. I don't think that's sufficient. In terms of Trump, I think you really have to address this anti-democratic actions of people in government, and start cracking down on that, because that is our danger, our biggest danger in just a few short years. If we fail to address that, and we keep saying that on this program, and nothing seems to be happening. They're doing the infrastructure program, they're doing this, they're doing that, but they're not really going after full force after what happened at January 6th. They indicted a few people who were on the ground, like just part of it, but nowhere higher up. No, they have not yet done a full investigation. They've yet to figure out whether the police structure was somehow involved, which appears to be very, very convincing. That argument that there were higher ups that enabled this to the insurrection to breach the Capitol.
Well, a lot of things happened. There are probably many different truths, all true, about what happened there.
But they're sleeping on their guard. They have to address it, because this is going to explode again in 4 years, and then it's going to be even worse, and we may lose our democracy.
I hope something happens. I hope Trump experiences consequences. But you asked me earlier. My feeling is I don't think something will happen. Would I like something to happen? Oh, you betcha. I would like to see this toad get what he deserves. But you're just going against so much stuff. We don't have it in the deck, but one thing I could have thrown in the deck, I ran across a interview that some news agency did of it was a fake job interview, and they wanted to interview this guy. He's a lobbyist for oil companies. And so during this interview, he starts talking about the various congressmen that the oil industry has in their pocket. And number one on the list is Joe Manchin. And
it's not surprising.
So you've got if you're going to go after Trump, you're going to get a lot of people who are not going to want you to do that. And that's why I say I just don't see things happening. Anything somebody wants us to go after Trump, somebody else is going to come along and say and mess him up. That's so. Like I say, I hope he gets what he deserves. I don't see it happening.
I guess it's our business to pressure and bring it up and keep talking about it, because it's not happening on its own.
Which brings, one thing that happens when people get passionate about something, and they may say start a program like we are doing right now, and then they'll get the message out there, and they'll say, okay, well, I got the message out there. That's all I got to do. The information's out there for people. No, that's not how it works. It doesn't matter if the story's been told. You got to tell the story over and over and over again. It's not a matter I hope we're not brainwashing people, but you just got to put it out there and remind people again, or they won't pay attention to it.
Yeah. And just to mention the slide for today, I played a little with the graphics here. This is Trump tossing the prison uniforms to Weisselberg, just as he has done in Puerto Rico after the hurricane, and obviously he's happy to sacrifice anyone else as long as he doesn't get into trouble. So, yet to see where this is all going to go. And in terms
he does have a talent for getting other people into trouble.
Yeah, he doesn't have any, you can't be loyal to him and expect anything from it. It's
he'll throw you under
the bus, in the first second. And here's Trump saying, I don't know the Trump organization. I've never heard of the Trump organization. I don't know Allen Weisselberg. I think he used to get me coffee.
I know nothing. Yeah.
And this is Trump saying, Weisselberg, your next payment will be in the form of a scholarship to Penn State. Oops, I meant State Penn.
He'll be lucky if he gets that from Trump.
Yep. And here's the Republican saying, I would like to end the conservatorship with my abusive daddy. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're
now
in.
they got their 35% tax break. They don't need him anymore.
Oh boy, yeah. No, they need him. They keep needing him, and they'll keep sticking to him. So that's not gonna change.